We're gonna be
Terry.
Margaret's down there.
It's really complicated. First of all, because they wanted to use the band. Everybody was having a must. Somehow or another, and these companies were disbanded. Some of them were all kinds of the 11th Virginia, the 2nd Virginia, and some of them went back to the original militia companies that they originated from in the county, Metro County Militia. And so all those guys were originally rifle company. And so rifle company never went away. That's what those guys did for a living. They had been fighting the Indians since the 1750s in Bedford County. A lot of people don't realize it was Indians in Bedford in the 1750s.
Oh, you're fine, sir.
They were harassing the soldiers. So they went straight from Indian fighting the French and Indian War. So they were bratted fighting the French. Well, when the Revolutionary War started, it's natural progression because the Virginia government called the militia. Each county had to call up every man between 16 and 60. Think about 16 years fighting in the army, 60-year-old men. So each, and there's thousands of these guys. But if you look at the history records, they don't exist.
There's Doc pointing at the
now, why do they not exist?
I do.
Any reason why they don't
Past that
exist on the
spot
history
for
record?
35 years. He and his sister Renee didn't
One of the people that didn't want them to exist was Morgan himself. I was telling Gary, Morgan was a tactical liar. What he would like to do was if he outnumbered them, he didn't want to say that because it was all about morale. He's one of the people say, hey, we defeated them and we had less troops.
There he is.
Then it looked better when the war went back to England. But see, it always didn't happen that way. So we can look at some of the English reports of what happened. For example, the Battle of Cowpens. It was riflemen hit the woods everywhere. And so when the British came out, they were just mowed the earth. Because these riflemen, like I said, they could shoot a target at 300 yards. And a musket, you're lucky to hit something at 80 yards with a musket. No riflemen in the barrel. So
It was like a water pipe.
it's like a water pipe, yeah.
And the ball of lead would just roll down that water pipe and go any direction.
Now,
But a rifle puts spins on it like passing a football. Spins it.
We've done research and you could actually get better range, with a musket than the 80 yards. And those guys could hit targets, better than 80 yards with a musket. But with a rifle, it's a whole different game. I mean, you can pick out an officer with his little Bourget, the symbol of rank. You could spot him 300 yards. You could see him over to his house and shoot him in the head. Yeah, shoot him. And so what the Americans were doing, they were picking out the officers, the ensigns, the musicians. They were the first targets. The English were crying foul, poo-poo on this. This is unfair. This is unsportsmanlike conduct. But that's not how we.
In the Battle of Saratoga that morning, when the British came out of their tents, the officers started losing their heads one by one. And basically the British surrendered because they didn't understand what was happening. What was happening was Washington's Rangers were 100, 200 yards back behind rocks and trees, picking them off with rifles. It had never been done before, so they didn't understand it.
So the English tried to combat that. They hired German mercenaries called Hessians. And some of the Hessian troops carried muskets, but a large majority of them carried the Jaeger rifles. And they tried to compete with the American frontiersmen, but they just couldn't do it. Because, like I said, these frontiersmen had been fighting Indians all their life, and they knew what they were doing.
They had a lot of tricks up their sleeve.
A lot of tricks up their sleeve. And here's something else that I'll give the New Englanders credit for. They passed a law that squirrels became such a nuisance that you could pay your taxes by killing squirrels.
Yeah.
Well, these riflemen, even from New England, would go out and shoot these squirrels. They'd shoot them in the head, so the squirrel would be intact, so they could take its hide.
I got to run, tell these people bye.